All right, we're back. So let me get Eric in here. Way closed up. There we go. All right. So yeah, I didn't monetize it for a reason. I figured that based on what they had on their site, you could embed their videos, but I guess YouTube picked it up, claimed it as copyright. I'll just have to trim it out. But anyway, so going on to what they were talking about, which was a lot. I did not expect to see such favorable commentary about Jared Goff. You heard a few things in there. One of the things that I started to disagree with, which was he was good enough to make it to a Super Bowl, wasn't good enough to win it. It's not a one-person game, right? I mean, you have essentially 25 starters on an NFL team, 11 on offense, 11 on defense, punter, kicker, long snapper. Those are your 25, your base 25. Then you have your role players, rotational players that come in and out. And for whatever reason, everyone always blames the quarterback. I don't care what team it is. I don't care what century it is, what decade it is. They always blame the quarterback. So it wasn't just Jared Goff's fault that he struggled against the Patriots. I feel like that was a preparation thing. At what point do you blame the coach for not having the team prepared, right? I mean, Dan Campbell goes to the mic all the time and says, man, I screwed up. I didn't have the team ready, but we're going to be ready the next week. And what happens? They win one, they lose one. He claims, it's his fault. They call it coach, speaker, whatever. And then he goes right into winning in the next game. We didn't lose more than 2 games in a row last year. We never lost 2 games in a row. And there's a reason for that. So I can't agree with everything, everyone says it's positive or negative, but that's my view is that Jared Goff has the talent. He has the tools. He has the weapons. He has the coaching. We've now added 2 amazing personnel, department people, as far as scouting goes, guys that could have been GMs in this league, guys that have helped teams for more than 2 decades, help build their rosters. And the one thing that I wanted to go into is this ego thing about Brad Holmes. But before I go into that, the things that you were hearing from that video, Eric, what was your takeaway initially from Speak Live?
I was getting mad at the guy in the red suit talking about how Stafford lost us the NFC Championship game. No way. That guy's an idiot.
You mean Goff? You mean Goff did?
Yeah, saying that Goff lost us the NFC Championship game. That guy's an idiot. I was there. I watched it. Listen, Goff didn't put any passes on the ground. Goff didn't let a pass deflect off the front of his helmet into, the other team's wide receiver. Yeah. Goff didn't fumble the ball to start the third quarter. Goff didn't do any of that. I don't remember seeing any super lame ducks that Goff threw during the whole entire game. I don't remember seeing anything that I was mad. I don't remember one play where I was like, oh, Goff, come on. Not one play do I remember being mad at Goff for in that entire game. Because I'd get mad at him once in a while if he threw a duck or, threw some pass. I'm like, what the heck are you throwing it away out into the stands on 4th down? Some of those didn't make sense to me. He does that every once in a while, but not in this game. This game, he didn't do any of that stuff.
Yeah, I think this game he was spot on, man. He was ready to roll, and I think he proved that when he jumped out immediately and got this team up to 27 points. Was it 27 in the first half? So, or maybe it was. What did we have in the first half? I don't remember now. But anyway, we got up to a sizable lead. We had a really big lead, 17-point lead, I think, going into the first half or the second half. And I blame the defense more than anything. I mean, you just can't let up big play after big play after broken play after broken play and expect to win a game. Yeah. You have to be able to shut, the other team out at least a couple of drives, to be able to maintain that game. If you expect, mirror the first half and the second half, let's say they had, 6 offensive possessions in the first half and they're going to have 6 in the second, that you can't allow them to get down the field on more than 4 of those occasions. And you have to keep them out of the end zone on 2 of those occasions. So 2 out of 6 drives, we needed our defense to step up. Yeah, the offense could have scored more points. Just couldn't get it done. I think that, Dan Campbell probably should have kicked that second field goal. And it is what it is now. I mean, it's all water under the bridge. I'm not going to fester about it. It's 2024. We've got our primary players are locked up, and I'd say that's a pretty decent segment too. Is you now look at your critical components on any team. We have our tackle of the future. We have a quarterback of the future. We have our wide receiver of the future. So we've got three of your main components to any team locked up now for several seasons together. What's next, right? What's next, coming down the pike? We're going to need that defensive tackle of the future, a defensive end of the future, our cornerbacks, which are now on the team as rookies. We've got 4 years before we, or at least 3, but 4 potential years before we even need to worry about having to do anything with corners, assuming that Terry and Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw, work out. And I mean, all signs right now pointing to the fact that they're going to be really good. Even if they were really great second tier corners, they're still far better than anything that we've had on this team the last 3 seasons. So the team is moving in the right direction. Brad Holmes is building this kind of in phases, right? He's installing components just like you do a playbook. You've got week 1 through installment 8. It's a progression. He's going through his playbook. So anything you want to say on that before I head into the next segment here on ego?
No. Yeah.
Okay.
I think Goff is fine. No problem.
All right. Shout out to Braylon Dennis, $5 super chat says, I don't blame the DC for going for it because Dan Campbell for going for it because he doesn't trust our defense. I wouldn't trust AG and our defense in that game either. Yeah, I think you're spot on, Braylon. I don't think that Dan Campbell had a lot of trust in the defense in the second half. The defense in the first half played great, but for whatever reason, I think it was quick to realize in the second half that AG was going to have a problem and things were kind of spiraling out of control. And I think the one thing you didn't mention in there is you don't trust our kicker. Someone put out a stat yesterday. It might've been on Twitter somewhere, or it might've been one of the comments in YouTube that, why don't we trust Badgley? He was 7 for 7 last year, 4 in the regular season, 3 in the postseason, but he didn't have, more than 1 kick over 50 yards. And when you look back at the kicks that we would have had to have made in that NFC title game, that second kick, I believe, was right around 47, 48 yards.
It was 48. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was outdoors. It wasn't really windy or anything that night. It was a nice, but we don't know what it was like down on the field. I was in the second level there in the front row, but I didn't feel any wind.
Up top, there was no wind at all.
So, look, I feel like if we had a better kicker, maybe Dan would have had a different idea. But then again, 4th down Dan is 4th down Dan, man. I mean, he's playing Moneyball here. He is the new Moneyball in the NFL. So ego here, and this is, I think, we'll end it today. Is there was some things that were popping out online that, and it's in these like subreddits and some other things that I was reading. Someone made a statement about Brad Holmes and Jared Goff that Brad Holmes may have been the one that really helped Jared Goff get picked number 1 overall for the Rams. And he was heavily involved, obviously, in the player development, the scouting, for however many years with the Rams. Was it 15 or 20 or something like that, that he was with the Rams, and that he was heavily responsible. Now, I don't know the validity of all of this, but that he was heavily responsible for bringing Jared Goff to the Rams. And when he left the Rams to come to Detroit and obviously put that deal together to ship Stafford off and, trade for Goff, that this is kind of an ego thing to kind of show everybody, look, I gave you the quarterback. I told you who to draft. This was the guy you needed, and you completely pooped on him. So I'm going to bring him to Detroit, and I'm going to show you exactly who he is. So is this an ego thing with Brad Holmes that he's sticking with Jared Goff? He's giving him this big extension because he has this blind faith in Jared Goff? I don't believe so. Maybe there's an ego component to it. Maybe he does believe that Jared Goff is, the quarterback that the Rams should have stuck with, and maybe he felt slighted by the fact that Sean McVay, did and said what he did. But I don't know how much of that is really relevant today. I don't know that I can latch on to Brad is just sticking with a player because of his ego. It kind of ties back to the last draft where, some of the critics were saying that Brad Holmes is just too cocky, too confident, too much ego here with the types of players he selects, where he selects, the way he moves up and around into drafts, that this isn't normal. Oh my God, he's shaking the tree. Well, good for Brad. It's working. It's winning. So what do they say? Don't hate the player, hate the game. Come on, Brad Holmes is big time player right now in the NFL, and he's proven everybody wrong by being right. So anything you want to say on this ego thing, potential ego thing with Brad Holmes and Jared Goff being tied at the hip?
Sure. You know what I'm going to do this week? I'm going to go back and I'm going to watch a movie, and it's called Moneyball. I haven't watched it in a long time, and I'm going to watch that movie again because I think what Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell are doing is a modern day Moneyball, but for football. They're doing things their way. So whether you think it's ego or not, that doesn't matter. What matters is they're doing things that no one else is doing. Dan's going for it on fourth down when he wants to. He's doing it at a historic rate. You watch other teams are going to start, and they already are, start copying the Lions. They're going to start taking our offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators and our other people and our scouts and everything else. And it's starting to happen already. So even if people think that Brad Holmes has this big giant ego, I think that comes more because he cashed in some of his receipts a couple weeks ago. I think that's why people think he has an ego, because he cashed in some receipts and he wore the positional villain shirt and the villain shirt last year. It has more to do with that than anything. I don't think Brad Holmes has this big giant ego and thinks he's better than everybody else. I just don't believe it. Nah.
I guess, when it comes to ego, you have to have a certain level of swagger in the NFL, right? You have to have some moxie in the NFL. And as a younger GM, remember, Brad Holmes is like our age. He's like 44, 45 years old, which I said this before. It makes me feel so unsuccessful seeing Brad Holmes doing what he's doing at my age. But he's earned it, man. He's earned everything that he has in front of him. And he's proven time and time again that there is a reason and a belief to trust in what he does and what he says. Has he really ever steered us wrong? He tells us the blueprint every year. He told us, I'm not taking high-priced free agents. He said that time and time and time again. And then when you look at his record, I think the most money he's ever spent on a high-priced free agent was DJ Chark. $10 million on a wide receiver. That was it until DJ Reader. DJ Reader, what did he get? A 2-year, $29 million deal. I think it's only $12 million guaranteed or something like that. So
Cam Sutton got just a little bit more.
Yeah, but you're right. That was about $11 million a year. It was 3 at 30.
Yeah.
Which we get some of that back now. But that was 3 at 30. Yeah. So he was about $10 million a year or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So I guess it's even with DJ Chark. But now DJ Reader is, the highest priced free agent that he's ever brought in. And it's still not a glaring number. It's not a giant number. When you look at the grand scheme of what happened this year, you got players that we had pegged between 18 and 20 million that are getting 28, $30 million a year. It's crazy what happened this year. It's really reset the bar in a lot of areas for a lot of positions. But if you listen to Brad Holmes' press conferences, which I've done, and I've done some pretty successful videos about, just listen. Just listen to what he says. You have to pick up on the nuances. I've said this before that, I'm big on facial recognition features and how it blends with psychology and what these people say. You can pick out everything that he's going to do for the most part. You're never going to be 100% accurate, but you at least have a really good idea of what he's going to do. What's next? So what do we got coming up this week? Tonight we have 7:30. We're going to start the official release party, the NFL schedule release party. We're going to start right around 7:30. Eric, I don't know if you're going to be around, but if you want to jump in, you're more than welcome to.
Oh, heck yeah. I can't wait.
I might go early. We'll just see how the rumors kind of flow throughout the day. If we think for a moment there that the schedule is going to get released earlier than 8 p.m., then we'll get in even earlier. But I wanted to get in early enough to at least have some conversations, kind of look at the opponents, and then we'll do a full review.
I got a question for you, Will.
Sure.
So this is for me and all the other fans out there. So there are nothing but rumors everywhere about the schedule right now. You go on Facebook, there's everybody putting out all these rumored schedules. Like, we're going to have this on Sunday night. We're going to have this on Monday night. We're going to have this many games. Where should we as fans go online to look for the real deal? The ones that are officially out from NFL.com or Adam Schefter on X. Where should we go to make sure that what we're seeing is actually what's there and not just a rumor or somebody's speculation on what the schedule might be tonight?
So there really isn't anything to look at until the schedule comes out. So if it's out by Mike Garafolo or Ian Rappaport, you just got to read the tweet. Is it rumor or is it this is an official schedule leak? So what the NFL is doing this week is they've been kind of putting out a game here, a game there, as a primer to the official schedule release. And what you've seen so far, like the 49ers on Monday night, that's a lock. The Cowboys on the first of the doubleheader of Fox on Sunday afternoon at 4:25, that's a lock.
Yeah.
What was the other game? I believe it was the Jets and Eagles. No, Jets and Browns. I think was the other game that's a lock. The Chiefs and the Ravens. That's a lock for the opener, the Thursday night opener. And then I believe that the Jets and the Browns were another game too. But anyway, those are legit. I don't even think if you go to the team websites that even if these quote unquote rumors are legit, that they're probably going to list it right away on the schedule. So I visited the Detroit Lions website obviously last night and this morning, and there's nothing there. It says the page doesn't exist. That will cease to exist obviously by 8 p.m. tonight. Last year, the schedule didn't actually come out to about 8:08 p.m. So they kind of left us hanging for a little bit. But I was live when we were, waiting for that schedule to come out last year. So anyway, Jets Niners. There we go. Jets Niners. Over under reaction Mondays. What did you guys feel about that segment? If you had a chance to watch it or watch it live, let us know. And then I'm going to open up a new email. I'm working on a new email system today. And it's literally just going to be, probably mailbag or something. I hate to use that term because everybody does, but I'll figure out a way to do it. But I'm going to release a new email that is going to be just for segment questions. And that way, if you guys want to send in your questions, we're going to do like Patreon, or I'm going to do Patreon type stuff through Buy Me a Coffee. And that way we can start getting more interactive with the fan base again. I ordered a new cable from Rode. And then I'm going to work on grabbing a new conference call system. But once I get the new cable, I'll be able to take phone calls. For whatever reason, my cable just doesn't work. It just failed. Doesn't work. Mail sack. There we go. There's 15 to 20 people in the Rockdown Syndicate channel. Cool. Are they not in this chat? They should be. They should be in this chat. Let me head over there real quick. Let me at least say hi because we're about to end this for this morning. We just wanted to jump back on to let you know we're still here.
Yeah, I think that's where the mail sack thing came from, because that didn't come from the Rocked On.
What's that?
The comment from the person that said mail sack, Joseph. I think he's on the Syndicate one, not on the Rocked On one.
Yeah, I don't see any of these comments over on this side. I don't get it, man. I don't know. It's supposed to pull it all in.
Yep.
This is I'm gonna get it fixed. Hopefully next Monday we'll be able to kick off the new streaming service. I just got a bunch of emails this morning from Streamlabs, so they're gonna help me fix a couple of things.
Well, I do have to say, Will, I'm happy we had one show this week with no gremlins. It wasn't today, but we did have one show this week with no gremlins.
I never used to have gremlins until, I did here or there, but since you've been on,
I know,
for whatever reason, you poison the stream with gremlins. Just don't say the word anymore. Just don't speak it into existence.
Yeah.
All right. Great show this morning. You guys are awesome as always in the chat. Get in early with us tonight. Do schedule release tonight. Might even have a few prizes. Just maybe. One of these days, I think Eric's going to give away a Uperlite package.
Yeah, maybe that Uperlite guy should get off his butt and give something away, huh?
Yeah, probably should.
Maybe send Will a flashlight in the mail or something. Yeah.
I bet you I have some Uperlights out in my buckets of rocks that I collected.
Yeah,
I just don't know because I don't have the flashlight. I mean, Megan bought me a flashlight and all that stuff, but I don't even know where it is.
Yeah, we got to change all this. We got to get some stuff going.
Yeah, people would love to see your stuff, man. So, all right, you guys have a wonderful day. It's schedule release day, the most exciting day of the season after the draft, or the off season after the draft, in my opinion. You got free agency, you got the draft, you got release day, rookie mini camp is cool. And then, we'll have OTAs and then training camp coming up next. So exciting day today. And then it's going to be back to the lull period. We'll start Lions Legends next week. I'm going to dip back into those segments, but let us know on Over Under Reaction Mondays if you guys liked it. We'll get more animated with it, but let us know what you guys are thinking moving forward. And then please send us your Over Under Reaction segment questions. And you can email it right now to the info@rockdownpodcastnetwork.com. I'll collect them. And if you want me to shout out your name, I will. Just put it in the email. Hey, it's okay to use my name. Otherwise, I won't. I'll just leave it as anonymous. So you guys are always anonymous until you tell me you don't want to be. All right, you guys have a wonderful day. Appreciate you guys joining and then joining the second stream, round 2. So we'll see you guys tonight back here no later than 7:30. Sounds like Eric's going to join us, and we're going to do a full review. All the games. I'm going to kind of give my final prediction, if you will, about the schedule. What did I say last time? I thought we were going to be 13-4.
Yeah.
Or 14-3. I said one of those two, but tonight we're going to lock it in. So, all right, you guys have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.
Rock on.
There you go.